4.3 million Haitians live in the Dominican Republic today, many of them in an irregular situation. A country with barely 10.8 million inhabitants. Do the math. Nearly 40% of the population is of foreign origin. There is something almost no one says. No country in history has survived a demographic change of this magnitude without being completely transformed. There is not a single case in which a nation has kept its identity, its culture, and its way of life intact when almost half of its population comes from another country. So the question is not whether the Dominican Republic is going to change, but what it is going to become. And here comes the most uncomfortable part. The border with Haiti is not out of control. That's what they want you to believe. The border is controlled, but for business, not for the security of Dominicans. How did we get here? What forces are pushing this transformation? And above all, who benefits while Dominicans watch their country change before their eyes?
Military personnel at the border charge between 10,000 and 40,000 Dominican pesos for each illegal Haitian they release. Do the math. This isn't corruption. Corruption is when someone accepts a bribe here and there, an envelope every now and then. But this is already an industry. It's a way of making money every single week, every single month. And it doesn't end there, because once they enter, what happens then? Well, that's where things get darker. Hospitals in the Dominican Republic are collapsing, not because of a pandemic, not due to lack of resources. They're collapsing because maternity wards are overflowing with Haitian women giving birth on Dominican soil. Do you know why they do it? Because of the absurd rule that if your child is born in the Dominican Republic, they automatically have the right to citizenship. In other words, if I took my girlfriend to give birth in the Dominican Republic, my child would be Dominican? It seems wrong that it's like this, but given how things are lately, I think I'm more Dominican than many Dominicans. The delivery rooms are full. Dominicans who need medical attention have to wait. It's a clown's world. Pregnant Dominican women can't find beds. And who pays for all this? The Dominican taxpayer. With their taxes, with their work, they're financing their own disappearance. I know this doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but the worst part is there's still much more to tell. Believe it or not, we haven't reached the worst part yet. Because when we talk about demographic invasion, we're not just talking about numbers. We're talking about the future. We're talking about the next generation. 150,000 Dominican children were left without spots in schools this year. 150,000. These are Dominican kids born in the Dominican Republic to Dominican parents who cannot attend a public school in their own country. Why? Because Haitians took the spots. And meanwhile, the media tells you that you have to be empathetic. They tell you that you have to understand that we're all equal. Of course, empathy with outsiders. Why don't they teach you to have empathy with your own people? Something that deeply outrages Dominicans is that when a Dominican commits a crime, they expose it. The media have no problem saying it. Now, when the one who commits the crime is Haitian, magically the nationality disappears from the narrative. They try to cover it up. They manipulate the information. You might ask yourself why. Well, before getting there, you need to understand how they reached this point, because this didn't start yesterday. In the 1990s, things were very different in the Dominican Republic. If they saw an illegal Haitian in the neighborhood, people themselves would ask if he had papers, and if he didn't, they'd send him back. The community self-regulated. But today, if you go to the Dominican Republic, the same people who used to deport Haitians now rent them housing. They treat them better than many Dominicans. They give them work before their own neighbors. What happened in these 20 years? How do you flip the mentality of an entire country? The answer is social engineering. Media outlets financed by international organizations began hammering with the same message. Empathy. We're all equal. You can't discriminate. If you oppose illegal immigration, you're racist. If you want to protect your country, you're xenophobic. They brainwashed them for 2 decades until they forgot that they're also part of society. And don't let them sell you the story that they're deporting Haitians. because they charge them a fine and let them go. It's a perfect business for them. Immigration wins. The Haitians win because they stay in the country. Politicians win. Elites win. Big businessmen win. The only one who loses is the Dominican worker. But things get even murkier because this isn't just a Dominican problem. There are international connections that almost nobody mentions. Corrupt money from Pedro Sanchez's government in Spain is sheltered in the Dominican Republic. Dirty money that needs laundering. And the Dominican Republic, with all this migratory chaos, is the perfect place to hide fortunes. Because while everyone is distracted with the invasion, nobody is looking at bank accounts. But here comes something that will really blow your mind, because I still haven't told you who is really benefiting from all of this. And when I tell you, you'll understand why this invasion precisely hasn't been stopped in time. The Dominican elite lives on another planet. While Dominicans see the invasion problem every single day, they're in their accommodations with private security, in towers with 24-hour surveillance paid for by the state. They don't see Haitians in their neighborhood. They don't compete for jobs with Haitians. Their children didn't lose spots in schools. For them, the invasion doesn't exist. That's why they allow it. But for the people who are exploiting Haitian workers, those who take all the money from that broken country, they're partners with the Dominican elite. They're not enemies. They're business partners. They have businesses together, and they precisely need that cheap labor coming from Haiti to make their business work. The exploiters over there send workers from Haiti to the Dominican Republic, and the businessmen exploit them even more. In other words, everyone wins. Except the ordinary Dominican who watches his job get stolen. And this isn't a conspiracy theory. It's the reality that Dominicans see every day. Dominican businessmen prefer to hire Haitians over Dominicans. You might wonder why. Well, because they pay them much less. A Dominican asks for minimum wage, labor rights, vacations. Meanwhile, an illegal Haitian accepts half and says nothing. Actually, he can't say anything because he's precisely illegal. He knows he can't complain. He's the perfect employee for the businessman who only looks at his pocket. But what should really alarm you is what's happening with the Dominican population. Because Dominicans aren't reproducing. Birth rates are falling dramatically. And do you know why? Because nobody wants to have children in all this mess. Young Dominicans look around and say, "No, I can't give you a dignified future. I can't guarantee you security." And the economic aspect has also led many to decide not to have children. Meanwhile, Haitian mothers are having on average 5 children on Dominican territory. Obviously all with citizenship. All with the right to health, to education, to everything. Do the math with me. If Dominicans are having fewer and fewer children, and Haitians, beyond the fact that it's not about birth rates, but follow me in this calculation, Haitians on average are having 5 children. And to this, we add all the Haitians who continue entering the Dominican Republic today. How long until the Dominican Republic has a Haitian majority on its own territory? Not 30 years, not 20 years, 1 generation. The Dominican Republic, as you know it, will cease to exist. Or rather, it will be Haiti with another name. But it goes beyond numbers. It's about quality of life, because this invasion brought consequences that nobody wants to mention. Santo Domingo is collapsing in number of people. Rivers are contaminated. There's more garbage than before. Diseases that didn't exist before are now common. Entire neighborhoods that 10 years ago were safe are unlivable today. Please, Dominicans, comment so that the rest of people see that not only am I not lying, but I'm actually understating it. Plus, these data points are easily verifiable. But here's what nobody wants to tell you. What the media silences. What the elite is hiding from you. All of this is part of a plan. It's not an accident. Because a country in chaos is a country that can't organize itself. A divided people is a people that can't resist. And while you're fighting with your neighbor, while you're trying to survive, those at the top keep doing business. They keep filling their pockets. They keep selling your country piece by piece. And we reach a point where everything makes sense. where the puzzle pieces fit together. Because there's something Dominicans are starting to understand. Something they're doing in the streets, in the neighborhoods, among ordinary people. And it's the only thing that scares the powerful. We're going to talk about something you can be criticized for saying. Something that international organizations can label you a monster for mentioning. But it's something Dominicans are saying louder and louder in the streets, in homes, internally, among groups. And it's precisely this. Not all cultures are equal. Not all peoples have the same values, the same customs, the same education. And Haiti precisely has the highest crime rate in the Western Hemisphere. It's the most violent country in all of America. And what can happen when more than 4 million people from that place enter your country? The consequences are very predictable. It's common sense. And here's the truth that nobody wants you to hear. The Dominican Republic is experiencing the greatest migratory catastrophe in Latin America. The biggest, the most devastating. And nobody outside the Dominican Republic is talking about this. Even many national media outlets are also silent. And international organizations are promoting this. I ask myself, what about the international organizations that are always shouting about anything? Here they're all silent. Everyone looks the other way when an entire country is replacing itself. It's disappearing before their eyes. The Dominican Republic is dangerously close to that point of no return. But here comes the beautiful part. What gives hope? What makes Dominicans believe there's still a chance? The Dominican people are waking up. Dominicans are saying, enough. And once they see the truth, they can't stop seeing it. They're starting to speak out, to protest, to organize. They're starting to defend themselves, because countries aren't saved by politicians. Countries are saved by their own people. Recently, they brought an Argentine to a television program. Last year, they put him on to talk about Haitians. Outrageous. We would love then to start with your experience living that time in our neighboring country. Well, first, and I know it's difficult to do it from this side of the island, we need to demythologize the country a bit. You know, there's a lot of myth, a lot of stereotype, a lot of prejudice, sometimes even information that isn't correct about what happens in Haiti. I usually tell this and they don't believe me, but at least until 2018 when I arrived on that side of the island, for example, in terms of security, it was a relatively safe country, and its capital Port-au-Prince was too. I don't know where they found this character. I don't know if he belongs to a comedy show, if it was a comedy sketch, or if someone is really going to believe the things this Argentine said. But let me tell you something. I'm going to the Dominican Republic at the end of the year. I'm going to set foot on that soil. I'm going to talk to the people. You know I defend you, and I always have. And what's happening in the Dominican Republic is an injustice. That they brought that Argentine to say those barbaric things about Haiti and Haitians is a disgrace. They laughed in your faces. When I go to the Dominican Republic, I'm going to say on your soil all these things I'm saying here. The Dominican Republic and the world need to understand that you have the right to preserve your identity. You shouldn't care if they call you racist or xenophobic for wanting your country to remain your country, with the same customs, religions, language, appearance, everything that has always characterized the Dominican Republic. Don't let anyone make you feel guilty for defending what's yours. Don't let anyone tell you it's wrong to want a better future for your children. The battle is only lost when you stop fighting. That's why, more than anything, Dominicans, share this video. Let it reach every Dominican you know. Let your family see it, your friends, your co-workers, your neighbors, because information is power. And the only way, the only minimal chance the Dominican Republic has to reverse this situation is for people to respond positively to what's happening today. Subscribe to the channel if you support the Dominican Republic. I invite you to leave me your comment on how you see this difficult situation. See you next time.